headphones. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Get It Done podcast with Erin. The podcast where I talk to business owners about their business, about what they're doing, allowing them to share their stories of how they got in business to be in the position that they're in. Let me put my headphones in because it's a little windy. I am recording from my backyard right now. It's a beautiful day, and I have been trying to get a 10. So I talk to business owners. I talk to business owners about what they are doing. So I am talking to business owners. In most cases, I don't know who they are. Today's guest, I don't know who she is. I've never talked to her before, of my knowledge. And my hope, my prayer for this podcast is that I am able to inspire somebody that is just scared to get up and do the thing. So hopefully this helps someone, at least one person. I am going to add our guest in so that she can introduce herself.
Hello.
Hi, Thea. How are you?
Hi. It's actually pronounced Thea. It doesn't look how it sounds.
Oh, Thea. I'm sorry. That's my
No
issue,
worries.
too.
So good. Like you mentioned, we've never met before. So it's the first introduction.
Okay. So just introduce yourself and let us know about your business.
Yeah, so like I said, my name is Thea. Thea Saccoliti is my full name. And I actually have a coaching company based for actors called Aspiration to Actuality. And it kind of melds the entertainment world, the mentorship you need for getting into acting, as well as the mental health component of the entertainment industry being so harsh on our mental health and confidence and all of that kind of stuff. So just supporting the entirety of being an actor.
Nice. And how long have you been in that business?
Yeah, so I actually just started this company a few weeks ago. It's been something that has been bubbling.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been bubbling for years, and I've worked in mental health and I've worked in acting for so long, but the baby of melding the two is brand new.
I love it. And what inspired you to start it?
Yeah, so my past experience is what inspired me to start it. I was a child actor. I'm originally from Colorado, but I got LA representation when I was in 6th grade. So, you're just starting puberty, starting to become a whole new person, and I was being put up for giant auditions, and throughout my whole life kind of shoved in a box. I look and sound a lot younger than I am, so I've always played like I still play a teenager. I still play 15. But in actuality, I am in my 20s, and so I grew up my whole life being told, you're a child. And when I got into adulthood, it didn't sit well with me and really let me lose track of who I was actually outside of being in a script and off the camera. And I really got lost. And luckily, I found the world of mental health, and I was coaching youth for about 3 years and supporting girls 8 to 18 within anxiety and self-confidence and communication and just self-identity. And I was like, what are the two things I'm most passionate about in this world, and what is not currently being offered in this world? And I was like, specifically mental health support for young entertainers.
Nice.
So here we are. Now I'm trying to fill that gap.
So how's it going for you? Has it been, because I know when I first started, I was like super nervous about everything. And nerves sometimes can get the best of us. So how has it been as far as like your emotional state in the situation?
Yeah. So I actually tried to start this business at like June of last year. I built a website, and I was like trying to pitch acting schools to come in and do mental health workshops. And it was right before the strike, and then right during the strike when I was pitching all of this, and everything was so like stagnant. It felt like nothing was in alignment with this business. And at that point, I was incredibly emotionally distraught towards it. I was like, during a strike is the most important time that we need actors to have mental health. Like, why isn't this a service that's even being considered? Like, most places were ghosting me and just not responding or saying, ask again after the strike. And at that point, I was just like, well, all right, I can't fix it. It's an issue, and no one's going to be able to fill this gap and be that beacon of support for youth in the entertainment. And I kind of had to take a step back. But within the last month, I've felt so empowered and excited. I've got a great community around me. I think that's a huge, huge thing for starting a business, especially, is just having supportive people. Like, everyone I talk to is like, this needs to happen. Like, they'll connect me with anyone that I know or that they know that might be able to benefit where I'm at. And so right now I'm riding that high of like, things are going to go my way, and not to say, and I've started businesses before, so I know there's hurdles coming.
Yeah.
But at this moment, I'm riding that wave, feeling very positive, and there's a sense of like calm contentment with it too, just because I feel so strongly about what I am trying to achieve and do.
Nice. What made you start back last month, or did you say last month?
Yeah.
You were just like, you know what? I'm gonna just do this. Like, what happened?
Yes. So I actually, kind of funny story. I've worked in a lot of different areas in my life, and when I was trying to start this business in June and it just wasn't working, I ended up working in insurance, which is like the most opposite thing of entertainment ever. And I was getting up, putting on my business girly clothes, going to businesses, talking to them about like supplemental insurance and cancer policies, and every day I'd come home and I was like, I
don't want to do this
all day long. Like, it was exhausting and draining, and I knew myself well enough that I was like, all right, we got to switch it up. Like, you can't come home just sad and empty and unfulfilled.
Yeah.
And I brought this idea back up, and I actually have a friend right now who she's like my first client. And I was just kind of naturally helping her. And I slowly was like, okay, wait, I really was onto something. Like, hang on a second. Like, let's keep this moving. And she's inspired me through being my student into like having more confidence towards my coaching ability and recognizing that the knowledge I have about the acting world is fruitful, because growing up I was like, oh, this is what everybody knows because I learned it in 6th grade. But it's not true. Like, there's people who hop into acting in their like 30s and they know and not an ounce of what I learned in 6th grade just because I was granted those opportunities. So a lot of why I was like, now is just that shift of mindset, which I think is the most important thing in every capacity, no matter it's professional, personal, like new perspectives just change the entire world.
Yes. So how important do you think mindset is when it comes to business?
I think it's probably one of the most important.
I agree.
Yeah. And that's why my company, for a while, I was like, I'm going to call myself a mindset shifter. I was like, that's the title I'm going to go.
And that is very well needed in today.
Exactly. And that's always my boyfriend. When I said that, he's like, that sounds like a superhero. And I was like, well, I'll be the superhero. Like, that's always been one of my greatest strengths is shedding light on perspectives that aren't seen. And challenging people into seeing someone else's perspective, although in a safe space, like never in a negative way. But if we could step into someone else's shoes or shed a little bit of light into another area, I mean, the whole world, we'd be a lot better off. But
I agree.
If you're not considering every component of your business and every light that it could be in, you're probably missing something, and you have to listen to those around you as well for it to succeed. Which I know a lot of business owners can get stuck in they're kind of like narrow-minded visions, which I mean, I'm guilty of too. Nothing against them.
I mean, I'm sure we are, because once we get so focused on whatever it is that we're focused on, that's kind of all we see at that moment. Yeah. So there's other areas that we're missing out on because we're so zoned in on whatever it is that we're doing.
Absolutely. And that's why I think like having someone to consult with or an advisor, you know, if you have a team of employees, that the people you are bringing in, you respect their opinions as well. So you can like take a step back every now and then. Like your business is going to be your baby and it's not going to go anywhere, but it might not grow the way you expect it to. Like just like any kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we learned that very fast in business.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
um, how do you intend on growing your clientele? Like, what's the plan for?
Yeah, so right now I'm working on a lot of internal partnerships within just the industry. So one of the kind of more specific services I offer is I do like headshot prep. So in order to submit to any projects ever, submit to an agent or manager, you have to have headshots. Like that's your calling card as an actor. And I guess a lot of actors they don't know what that should look like. They don't know how to style themselves, how to find the proper headshot photographer. Or if they do, the photographer's there to take the picture. They're not there to dress you and tell you how to look. Um, and so I've started partnering with photographers to offer an add-on service for their headshots with companies that I think are, industry standard, to have an add-on for me to come in and basically go personal shopping specifically for headshots with you. Identify your character types, express, what's the backstory of each character that's going to shine through in the images. So building clientele through photographers is one. I'm also partnering with another company that focuses on just kind of like mindset of actors, and we are working to try and get in with. There's a lot of showcases that are done outside of LA to get actors representation in LA, which is how I got my reps in Colorado. And it's months and months of preparation to meet with an agent and meet with a manager and prove that you're like worthy of the industry. But what's not included in those is the mental health component. So we are trying to work with kind of like coaches and acting teachers who do those workshops to, the day before the showcase happens, also have a like heart to heart, here's the mindset of when you go into tomorrow, how can you have the best performance? And when you come out of it, whether they want to sign you or not, what are the best next steps for you as an individual? So yeah, just a lot of partnerships. And even though the schools ghosted me pre-strike, I'm reaching back out. And now post-strike, I'd also love to just offer mental health opportunities within the variety of acting schools that are in LA for their students, like once a month even. Just a little check-in, like where are you? How are you doing? And what are the next steps? Like let's build your toolbox. So when you don't get an audition for 2 months, you're not thinking that shows you're not good enough as a person. Like it's so difficult to, and I'm in business, like acting for actors is the business. And just as a business owner, like you, like the business doesn't do well, you think it's yourself, and it's not. You have to like be able to remove yourself from the product and know that that's not a direct representation of you.
Yeah. And I think that's something that people should learn very early on, that when the thing doesn't work out, it's okay to just move on and go on to the next thing. Because a lot of times people have whatever the thing is, it doesn't work out, and then they just quit altogether. And it's like, no, you just got to keep going. You got to figure it out.
That's why you like take the bird's eye view and you go, okay, what's not working? What is? Let's switch it up. Like,
yeah, and that's basically what business is just being able to be innovative in all situations, in all areas. You mentioned a few times about partnering with people, and how important do you think it is in business to maintain certain relationships, to have certain relationships with people?
Yeah, I'm a people person right off the bat. So for me individually, I think it's incredibly important to just meet as many people as you can, create as many relationships as you can. And if something career-based can sprout out of it, then, I mean, that's phenomenal. And at the very least, you got someone else in your corner. Like sometimes I'll connect with somebody who has absolutely nothing to do with the industry, but I think that they're just genuinely such a nice person. And I create such a strong relationship with them. I know if somebody comes across that does fit what I do, they'll send them my way, and vice versa. And I think, if you can have as many people rallying out there for you as possible, like take it all. Like,
Yep.
that's the best way. And like, I think this podcast is a great opportunity for that as well. Of just, if there's an outlet to reach more people, take it.
Do it.
Go
Yeah.
for it. What's the harm?
Yeah, and a lot of people are so scared to just like have conversations with people or show up to certain events or do a thing just like this. Like, it's just, you have to be fearless in those situations. Why I asked the question. What are you most proud of in your work?
Ooh, that is a great question. What I think I'm most proud of is that I have found a gap in this industry that needs filled, and that I have created the tool set within myself to fill it. My whole life, I was always like, my mom's a science teacher, so I was always like, I want to invent something. I want to do something cool. Like, I thought I was going to go into the STEM route. She taught science, and so I was always doing experiments and going to like space things and like whatever. But then I was like, I hate math. I don't want to build stuff. I like panels. Like, I was like, this is not the route, but I want to create something. And so I feel like within this very specific niche little realm I'm creating, I have made something that does not exist on this planet, and it's so fulfilling. Like, my greatest achievement is hearing other people say that, because you can think it in your head, but when someone validates it from the outside, especially someone that, you respect or you idolize, and they're like, yeah, I think this is going to go so well, nobody else is doing it. You're just like,
yes.
Like, even if there's no money rolling in, like,
it just gives you that extra pep in your step.
Exactly. It's just like, okay, I'm on the right track, and that's all you need is those little wins. That's enough to keep you going.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know if you've answered it on this podcast already, but what's your greatest success? I'm curious now.
I'm sorry.
Your greatest success, or biggest achievement.
I don't feel like I'm there yet. Like, I feel like I've only done very little. I mean, although I have done a lot, it doesn't feel that way at all. Yep. But the fact that I'm still here is like the fact that I'm still in the field. I'm still in love with my work. I'm still doing the thing that I always wanted to do. And here I am on season 2 of my podcast. So that is a great thing for me as well. Being allowed to share you guys' story. I am super excited about this podcast.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that you still love what you're doing. I know that's something I've struggled with, and I know a lot of other people in my life is like, you fall in love with one thing and it just dies out.
Yeah.
And like, whether that's burnout or, you were faking it at the beginning, not being authentic to yourself. Like, I think no matter what business, that's such a struggle in today's industry. So I applaud you as well.
Thank you. So that is once I quit my job, I gave myself 3 rules. One rule, I was going to wear what I wanted to wear. I'm going to work when I want to work. Basically, I'm going to do my own schedule. And then I'm not going to do work that I don't love. So I used to do waxing starting out, and I was just like, I don't love this. I'm not doing it. So in order to keep me going, keep me enjoying what I do, I have to love it. It just makes it easier because my work, I was just telling my cousin yesterday, she did the podcast. Hi, Maisha. But I was just telling her yesterday, like, this does not feel like work at all. Like, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy giving facials. So what I'm doing is pure enjoyment. I'm super grateful. It is work, though. I'm not going to say that. Like, it's hard work. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of putting my whole entire being into what it is that I'm doing. But because I enjoy it, it makes it easier. Because I know a lot of times listening to me talk, I'm like, people might think, oh, that sounds easy, and it's not easy.
I've helped run a podcast. It's not easy.
It's not. You're juggling so many things. Personal brand, what do you feel about that? Do you think it's important?
It's a personal brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good question. I'm kind of mixed. I think it's important for a business to have cohesive branding. But I know that I am personally a little bit guilty of like my individual Instagram being a little just all over and chaotic. Um, and I had a friend a few days ago saying like she got approached for a business opportunity from a business and they reached out through their personal account. And she was like, it was so like unprofessional. There's no way I'd work for that company. And in my head, I'm like, okay, well, if it was a business opportunity, I wouldn't reach out through my personal account. But they could look it up and be like, who is this? What is going on? So I do think it's important to have cohesion and know what you want your branding to say. But I think that's something we're also still discovering since it is newer with all of our social media, like it's been around, but it's not as important and as it is nowadays. And I think I don't know where it's gonna go within. Is it going to become super important that people's personal and professional socials, the branding is the same? Or are we going to lean more into the like, I recognize you're a human outside of your work persona?
Yes.
And that might change based off of different industries as well. What do you think?
I think personal branding is very important because what if I wake up one day and I'm like, I don't want to do skin anymore. I don't want to do podcasting or whatever it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to stand on that. And then as far as presenting my personal brand, I think being as authentic as I can possibly be, I have to show up as myself. If that's one day me waking up, putting on my robe, coming outside, going live, giving myself a facial with my hair all over my head, or me being put together, hair comb, cute little outfit, like that's me too. And then I'm a woman of God, so that shows up on my personal branding as well. I recently stopped cussing, so that's gonna show up as well. Me prior to still cussing, like you would see, like okay,
Yeah.
while she's talking, she a little vulgar with her words, but but the evolution is there, like the change is there. If you go back a long time ago up to now, like there's change and you see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I never wanted to be you see me one way on social media, then when you see me in real life, it's like
Who's that?
yeah, like so I always want to be able to show who I am on whatever platform I show up on, but of course especially personal branding.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Once I got a compliment that was like, your Instagram like shows how you are so amazing. Like I looked and I was excited to meet you, and I was like, that's the best compliment. Like, I'm
Yes.
so glad. Like all I want is life is for people to just like, I want to spread a little bit of positivity into their life, whether that's like a post or talking to me or sending an email, like I just want it to be a positive experience. Leaves
Really?
a little happy sprinkle.
Yes, of course. Like we want people's experience with us to be a great experience.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you can think of that would like have anything bad to say
About me?
about you?
I have like I know one person who does not like me on this planet. But it's not work related. It's like personal life.
Personally, yeah.
And it's the like literal dumbest situation.
We don't have to go into detail about it because I don't know. But like, how do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel about people that like feel opposite of what you would like them to maybe?
This specific instance, I feel like it's so silly because the reason of why there's slight beef is such an elementary like experience.
Like, get over it.
Yeah, it's like what? However, I think ultimately, like you're always gonna come across people who either see the same vision of you or do not. Yep. And as long as you are in tune with what you are presenting, what you're moving forward with, not everyone's gonna be your side, and that's okay, especially if you're working in more taboo areas. And I think that there's a way to respectfully disagree with someone as well, and that's something that I think is kind of like not addressed enough in life. Is like, I could look at you and be like, I don't like your facials, but I like you as a person. And
True, right.
like, you know, they're not for me, but I'll send people your way.
Somebody, it'll be for somebody.
Exactly. And like, that would be like, there's no ugly vibes there. But the same
it
way,
just didn't work for me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, not everything is personal. Like, not everything in this life is personal. And I think that's the biggest thing that I push on all my students and everyone I've worked with is like,
that's huge.
There's so much going on in that person's brain that you don't know. And no offense to you, but you are probably not as important to them as you think you are in this moment.
Yeah, most times people have so much going on, like, and people are so emotionally attached to things that they shouldn't be emotionally attached to, like a comment or a facial expression or just like anything. So yes, that's huge.
But long story short, I think, you know, you can have people who disagree with you or maybe don't love you, but you can leave it in a respectful place.
Yep, right where it is,
and
over there.
I would love to have one of your facials. I'm sure it's great. I love everybody.
Yes. So I offer to the guests, I offer a free facial to you guys. So whenever you're ready, just hit me up, or you have the link. Just use the link.
I literally will. You'll see me like next week.
Okay. What is your favorite thing about being in business?
I like the versatility. I'm the kind of person, my brain moves a million miles a minute and it's constantly thinking, and I don't like to stay in the same place for too long. And within business, there's so much to do all the time.
All the time. There's never not a time where I don't have anything to do.
So it's like, oh, do I feel like doing graphics today? No. Okay, let me work on marketing. Do I want to do client outreach? Do I want to do something for internal stuff? Like, I can hop around wherever I want to, and at the end of the day, still feel like I was productive, but not have a dead set, this is what needs to happen.
Same thing, yep.
Yes, yeah, and so it's like the freedom, but also getting stuff done.
Yes. I agree. What are you grateful for today?
Today, specifically?
Yes.
I'm not grateful for my neighbors above me right now. I don't know if you can hear that. I was like,
no, what is it? Okay. They're walking?
I think they're like scratching something. Maybe they're hammering. Funny. There's a lot of people.
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, back to the grateful side. I'm really grateful. I've got two things. My kind of more surface level, since you brought it up earlier, is being able to wear whatever I want to wear.
Yeah.
Like fashion and self-expression has been so big for me my whole life. And I just am such a better person when I walk out feeling good in what I'm wearing.
Yes.
And I know there are some places, and like growing up in school uniform things, like you can't do that. And I don't know what I would have done if I grew up in one of those like types of households or something like that. And I'm also, my more personal one, I'm very thankful for my boyfriend. He is like my biggest support ever. This is my second business venture that I've kind of stepped into. And he is always just like, I'm here for you. I got your back. Like,
that's all we really want in a relationship. Yes. Like, just support what I'm doing.
I pop over and I'm like, I have a crazy idea. I want to start something new again.
He's like, now what?
Yeah, he's just the now what? And then he's like, if anybody can do it, it's you, babe. Like, you got it. And I'm like,
I love that. So make sure you, I usually ask people, who is that one person that you said it was him already, but who's that one person that you would just like owe something to, like owe a thank you to? So make sure when he gets home, or if he's home once we get off this live, that you thank him and you
I
share
do.
your appreciation.
I will more. Literally right before this, I drove to his work to give him Starbucks today. I was like, you're going to
Oh,
have a
how
long day.
cute.
Let me drop off a coffee.
Yeah. So when he gets home, sit him down, look him in his eye, and tell him how much you appreciate him.
I love that that's a part of your podcast. Yes, I 1000% will.
And the idea of the podcast is to, I know you heard it in the intro, is to hopefully inspire somebody that is just scared to start the thing. I talk to a lot of people just in doing facials, and once they lay down, they kind of like share their whole life story in a lot of cases. And one of the biggest things that I guess if I can just combine majority of the issues that people are doing or not doing is they are operating in the spirit of fear. So what would you say to the girl or guy that has the thing that they want to do, but they're not doing just because they're scared?
I mean, I would say find that person who rallies you or your mentor and sit down with them and like talk it out, because I feel like a lot of the times the fear keeps you from even talking. Like you said, like they start opening up when they're in that calm space getting a facial. If you're able to just even start discussing it outside of your brain, it's going to start manifesting into something that is reality. Whether you take that next step or not, if it stays in your head, it definitely won't go anywhere, you know. But if you start spreading the word, something's going to come your way. Like start saying it, even if you're not buying a domain or making a website, you know, like just being like, I think I'm going to start a business. You don't even have to fully commit yet. Just like
say it. Get comfortable with saying it.
Yeah, get comfortable with saying it. And I think that's when things start coming your way. But if you don't even speak it into existence, you can't expect anything to happen.
Yep.
So yeah, just start saying it. Say it to yourself in the mirror. Just get used to speaking, like, and that goes into like affirmations and like, you know, if you start looking in the mirror and being like, I'm a business owner every day, you'll probably become a business owner because you're creating that motivation inside of yourself. It's like, oh, hold up, let's actually get this done now. Like,
yep.
So yeah,
I love that.
Shout it from the rooftops.
Yes. So you say you got started when you were 6 years old. Looking back at your 6-year-old self, what do you have to say to that girl? And then I would say probably you said you're in your 20s. So 20 years from now, what do you have to say to that woman as well?
Yeah, it's my little 6-year-old self, who her dream in life was to be a rainbow ballerina, like unicorn princess. I would honestly say just like hold to the magic. Like magic has been one of the things that is like believing in magic is the impossible and that undying support from, like, I genuinely thought that I was the like keeper of the fairies put on earth to keep it safe. And I convinced my whole second grade class that too. And like that,
you're a business owner at 6.
I was like, everybody, we gotta watch out for the goblins. They're coming for the fairies today.
Funny.
Like, and like just that belief in myself, like hold on to that. Like, baby girl, just keep the magic going because it's not gonna steer you wrong.
Yep.
And to like probably like my 40-year-old self, I at that point I'll probably have kids, and I almost want to reverse it and say instill the magic into them, like because I know so many friends who, like, you know, like I was the kid who's like, maybe Santa's still real. That's still me. I'm like, the magic of him is still out there.
How
Like,
funny.
and it's like, sure. I also literally worked at a Santa house, so I've seen like people dress up as Santa. But I'm like, the spirit is real, you know, and if you can dive into whatever that manifests to you, whether it's like a Santa or a fairy or a mermaid or
$1 million.
Yeah, $1 million. Or you find that fulfillment and like motivation and joy from like spirituality, like just hold on to that thing that some people are gonna say isn't real, but if it brings you comfort, like just don't let it go.
Yeah.
And I want to give that to my little kiddos too.
Nice. I'm sure your kids are going to have so much fun with you. They're going to love their mom.
Oh yes.
Well, I just want to say thank you for showing up for me. Thank you for showing up for you. I'm so excited about what you have to come. I want to keep in contact because I want you to come back to let us know all the great things that you are doing in time to come.
Yeah,
Is there
absolutely.
anything that you'd like to share, that you'd like to say, how people can find you?
Yeah, I would like to say whether you're acting, you're not, you're in the entertainment industry, you're thinking about it. If it's even like a sprinkle in your mind, send me a message. My Instagram is actuality coaching. And my personal Instagram is Thea You can message me on either of them. I always do like a 30-minute free consultation. So there is, I've been the struggling actor who just needs a little bit of advice. I'm not gonna take the money from your pocket, and I also think it's important for people to understand what they're investing in for themselves. If money is a concern, don't let that be it. Reach out. We'll schedule something, and I just want to support you in any capacity that I can. Yeah, that's all for me. But
I love it. And how can they find you?
it's at Actuality Coaching on Instagram.
Okay. Well, thank you again, and sorry for pronouncing your name wrong.
No worries. It's my mom's fault.
Well, you have a good day. And if you want the facial, like I said, the link that I sent to you for you to book the podcast is the same link to book a facial.
Amazing.
But
Well, I hope to see you soon.
same. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you too. Episode 17 done. That was a fun. I always enjoy talking to people, but she was super fun to talk to. I'm super excited about what she's doing. Like, we can do anything. Like, we can have just an idea of something and turn it into a business, and it doesn't have to be. And I'm sure she's going to be huge in what she's doing because there's a audience for that is untapped. But regardless if it's a big idea, if it's a small idea, I say do it. I am including word of the day at the end of the podcast. So word of the day for today would be to I don't know if my mic was on, but word of the day is to enjoy what's going on around you. Don't forget to thank God for your blessings. Don't forget to say your prayers. And I will see you in about an hour. I have a couple more podcasts scheduled today. Bye.